Aneladee, why don't you tell me a little bit about you? How long have you been in homeschooling and about your family?
So I have 6 children, and I've homeschooled all of them except the last one up until all the way through. So the last one is right now in high school because of choices that we had to make.
Okay.
But so that I guess that gives me 28 years as a
Yeah,
homeschooler.
awesome.
I started when they were very young. Of course, you probably know that it's a calling.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like
Totally is.
those who are called to it stick to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when I got called at the beginning, when my children were little, I didn't know I was going to be a homeschooler for the rest of my life or the rest of my career with my children at home. But that's what ended up happening, and my whole life was formed around it.
Yeah, isn't that fascinating?
Yeah.
And thank goodness for that calling, because we wouldn't have been blessed with your
Right.
knowledge or anything like
No,
that
no, but-
in this community without you. So yeah.
So my dad said, he wasn't really sure that I was ever going to be able to be anything much because I was so flighty.
Oh.
And he wasn't really sure I was going to be able to be a great mother. But
That's funny.
I know, right? But he watched us homeschool throughout the years and realized that it had really shaped my character and made me who I am.
Awesome.
And he said of all of his, he has 11 children, and he could see the difference between my ability to parent and to teach compared to, my siblings are awesome. They're great.
Yeah.
But, and I have one other sister that homeschooled. But, yeah, he could see my growth. And,
That's
clearly
great.
it was something God needed for me.
Yeah, yeah. So it took your flighty and contained it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And,
that's great.
I didn't have a college education. I wouldn't say that I was very well educated in high school. I was a musician and seamstress, and I had lots of gifts and talents that I'd like to pursue, but academically I was not engaged in any way.
Yeah.
So, you think about that kind of background, am I capable of homeschooling my children?
Yeah.
And
And obviously and clearly you are.
I am.
Yeah.
My children have had lots of good academic success. Some of them more academic than others. My husband seems to be much more academic than I am, and so some of them take more after him. And my last son wants to be an astrophysicist, so you can see that academically he's probably pretty advanced.
That's great.
My oldest was more into theater and the arts, but right now she's a very successful real estate agent. So. Yeah, and I have another daughter who's just getting into law school right now, and I have another daughter who's a recording artist. Very different interests.
Yeah.
And I have a son who's a linguist.
Very cool.
And then I have a son who's special needs, but he's just amazing and beautiful, and we just adore him and love him. So,
Awesome.
and that's been my career as a homeschooler.
Yeah.
And I've been involved in lots of different kinds of things as I've homeschooled, because, when you homeschool, you have to kind of explore and to see what's there available. And I created a couple of kind of impactful things. I wrote a book called The New Commonwealth School.
Which has been very impactful.
It has been. There have been a lot of New Commonwealth schools start. And I kind of created the concept, and the book kind of explains how to create a Commonwealth school. So I started a company with a woman named Tiffany Earle, and it's called Leadership Education Mentoring Institute. And it's a mentor training company. We train mentors, and typically mothers and fathers who are teaching their children at home and who are teaching in the Commonwealth schools. We created a project-based curriculum, which I said before is very scientifically proven as one of the best ways for children to learn.
Yeah.
And but the problem is, it's really hard for us to wrap our brains around project-based curriculum. They call it thematic or thematic units or things like that. Because we don't teach that way in our schools, and nobody has experience with that in our schools. And in fact, right now I'm individually mentoring people who want to create a project based for their family, and they don't want to bring in the projects that we've created, but they want to have the project based for their families that are specifically designed for their families. So I've been having awesome success and a lot of fun helping these women and men create these projects for their families.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
I love that. Exciting.
And right now, currently, because my son is, my youngest is no longer homeschooling, and he's off on his own doing amazing, wonderful things by himself
Yes.
because he's that way, super independent. I just graduated with a master's degree, and it's a liberal arts master's degree, but it's an emphasis in education. Just wrote a thesis, which I can't believe. I mean, I told you I wasn't very academic.
Yeah, here you are graduating with a master's. That's awesome.
And, Saturday was interesting. I was preparing for a talk that I had to give in church, and I was looking up studies because it was on media, and I'm reading this really interesting study, and my husband said, yeah, I have a feeling that master's degree kind of changed the way you look at things, changed the way you read and study. I said, I know, because it's so fascinating. So it's just really influenced my life.
Awesome. Well,
and I never would have gotten a master's degree if I hadn't homeschooled.
Yeah, that's interesting how homeschooling makes you a better person and it educates you in a great way too.
And I learned right along with my children, I got to tell you.
I love homeschooling for that reason too.
Right?
Yeah, it's the best.
So I work for Life Changing Services now as a curriculum developer, and I used to be the director of the addiction prevention, and now I'm working specifically on curriculum, so product and development for them.
Awesome. And it's for the women, right? It's just
for women.
That's just a great thing because, like you said earlier, that women's brains are different.
They are,
and we need to be more specific in our approach to them too.
Right.
Yeah.
So we do have an addiction recovery for young men. That's very regimented, and it's amazingly successful for young men because men have these really great focused minds, and if you give them this system and help them work this system, they're able to just be successful. And women, their whole lives are kind of involved with the emotional aspects of addiction, and so it's it's a little bit different process that we have to work with. And it's been, oh my gosh, so amazing and interesting. I work with some of the most fantastic people on the planet, people who just truly love God and want to help the gathering of Israel.
Wow, that's wonderful.
To subscribe to our YouTube channel, click here. To choose from our gifts and request updates on our most popular topics, visit calledtolearn.com. For more videos like this one, click this playlist. For Table Talk discussions, choose this playlist.